right, my friends, I'm going to share with you two of the biggest mistakes I think people make when it comes to Social Security. I'm telling you, man, you got to understand Social Security. You can't do retirement planning without a full understanding of Social Security, simply because Social Security is such an integral part of the vast majority of Americans' retirement plan. And if you're part of the just normal Americana and you don't know how this works, you're leaving a lot of money on the table potentially, or you're working a couple extra years in a crappy old job, or you're saving differently than you should. I mean, Social Security isn't that, it's not easy, but once you get the gist of it, you're like, oh, okay, I got it. And then hopefully this video will help you with this. I've done a million videos on Social Security, I get it, but I'm telling you, it's so critically important. The vast majority of us, your old buddy Josh and Pablo too, are going to rely heavily on Social Security. By the way, it's not welfare. We paid into it. It's not a welfare benefit. It is called a transfer payment. It's transferred from the federal government largesse, which they took it from us, back to us, but it's not a welfare payment. So I hate when people try to say like Social Security and Medicaid are one of the same. No, they're not. No, they're not. Social Security, you paid for it, you're just getting your money back. Actually, frankly, you probably could have done better on your own, but I'm 100% on board with Social Security. So I don't want to get in the argument of like, if I could have invested my own. No, we're going to talk about that here in this video though. All right, so I want to show you something. This is my benefit statement in 2018, all right? I was going to get $2,808 a month at my full retirement age. Can I put you down? Because I got to write something. Can I put you down? Can I write something? I got to just put you down. Ooh, ouch. Oh, scratcher. Thank you, buddy. All right, so I was going to get, what this says is at my full retirement age at 67, I'm going to get $2,808 a month. And that full retirement age, that's my full retirement age, and this is my PIA. All right? And if we look at my Social Security history, I had benefits of paid into it going back to 1984. In fact, I'll show you my earnings history. So from 1984, base was not much. And then it kind of went like this. Then 2018 went like that. So I was kind of making the max here from basically 2010 to 2017, and then 2018 it fell off a cliff. So I'll share that with you in a second. So basically from 1984 to essentially 2000, well, I guess I really wrote 2010. I wasn't, from 1984 to 2010, I wasn't making much money. I probably was averaging, man. Yeah, I'd say, man, that's probably $40,000 a year, $40K a year from 1984 until 2010. Now, 1984, I literally made $156 of taxable Social Security. In 1989, my first year, full year in the Army, I was $7,854. But basically, from then on, I was averaging just a regular job, your frontline worker in the office or whatnot. And then I went to USA and I started making money. I made the max from 2010 to 2017. But then it fell off a cliff. And the very following year, my Social Security statement dropped from 2808 to 2235. Whoa! What's that about? How come it dropped by $600 a month? It dropped from 2808 to 2235. And the reason was because I quit my crappy old job. I only made about $24,000 in 2018. So my taxable Social Security was $24,000 in 2018. All right, but now we go back in 2019. I'm back at the max. All right, because I did great last year, and it looks like I'm going to do well again this year. So thank to you all out there for supporting me. So in this case, this will change again. 2020 will say this. We'll say, I mean, I don't know what's going to go, but it'll certainly be more than this. We'll just go back to, we'll say 2,900. Now, what happens here? The reason it's such a significant drop and a significant increase is because they're assuming that this is the income you made, that $24,000 a year is what I made in 2018. They assume that will be what I make for the next 20 years until my full retirement age. Does that make sense? So they're saying, okay, Josh, sucks you, whatever happened, you took a hit in your income. We're going to assume until we get otherwise noticed through paying more taxes that will be the money you make until 67, your full retirement age. They're going to assume I was going to make $24,000 a year until my full retirement age. Here, they're assuming now in 2020 when I get my statement, they're going to assume I'm going to make the max until I'm 67. So you can kind of see the difference. You'll see this is when it includes the max till FRA, All right, and this is basically minimum wage till FRA. So even if I only made $24,000 a year for the rest of my working career, I still have a locked-in benefit of $22.35. And that's nice because no matter what happens, as long as I make $24,000 a year, which is essentially minimum wage, I know once I hang up my boots, I'm going to get $22.35. Now, again, this is at your full retirement age, 67. If you're born in 1960 or later, I was born in 1970, your FRA, your full retirement age, is 67. Full retirement age equals your primary insurance amount, how much you can get at your full retirement age. So if I wait at this amount here, I could take it at 62 and get a 30% reduction. If I delay until I'm 70, I get a 24% increase over that. So I hope that makes sense. So that's one thing I think a lot of people don't understand. They look at their Social Security statement and they say, oh man, like if you're only 30 years, I mean, hell, if I don't have it, but if I was only 30 years old, I'm drinking some Tully's decaf. No, not Tully's. It's something tall, dark, and handsome decaf that I got off Amazon. It's okay. I like coffee. I don't like the coffee. I could drink coffee all day long because I don't drink alcohol. But I do need a taste of some kind of coffee later on in the day. But anyway, so if I were to get the same statement in 2000, when I made $27,089, my statement would look bad. And see, this is what I think people all the time they say, oh my goodness, my Social Security statement says I'm going to make $1,500 a month. I'm like, hold on, man. Hold on. Are you only going to make $27,000 for the rest of your life? Your earnings career, I should say. No, I plan on moving up or doing whatever you want to do. Get my business. I plan on moving up the ranks. Then I'm going to be the next, what's the guy who took over for Bulga Vanguard, John Brennan. Go from being a corporate lackey to the CEO, and I'm going to be making big bucks. Well, your Social Security statement is going to change to reflect the change in your income. Do not discount that. Do not discount that, young folks. And, not even just young folks, but older folks like your old buddy Josh, too. All right, so let's keep going. Part two of let me just drink the rest of this. I don't like when it gets cold. All right, so part two. Let's use a different color. Ooh, there's a black. Let's see if this guy works. All right, so now let's go back to my last name was 2235. All right, so my last name is 2235. All right, so you're like, man, I paid all that taxes and I'm only getting 2235. That's bull crap. And you're going to look at your statement and you're going to say, you've already paid in taxes. I've already paid that doesn't work very well. $97,466. And my employer has paid $108,545. All right, so let's add those. We'll just say it's roughly $200,000, give or take. So we're going to say that's roughly $200,000 I've already paid in taxes between my employer and me for the last since basically 1984, however long that is. And there's another 20 years going in roughly. You're going to say you're going to pay probably another, how much? I don't know how much tax you paid. Another $200,000. You're like, man, if I could have invested that money, we'll just say it's $400,000 for simplicity. So we're going to say you had $400,000 of taxes that went in over the course of 40 years. That's $10,000 a year that you paid in taxes and your employer did too. So we're going to say instead of Social Security, your employer gave that money to you and you invested it, which you wouldn't do. But we're just going to say, so we have essentially $800 a month going into Social Security. It'd be $833 a month. Does that make sense? So essentially what we're saying is over the course of your working career, you made about you paid about $200,000 of taxes. That's over 40 years. Divide that is roughly $10,000 a year of taxes going for Social Security. And we're just going to say $833 a month is what your payment was. Now, just look, man, it's not that because there's going to be some very heavy lump sum on the front end in terms of, low on the front end, huge amounts on the back when you're making money. So we're just going to say, you made, we'll put $300 a month in for 40 years. We're going to say you put $300 a month into Social Security for 40 years. All right, so $300 a month for 40 years. And we're going to say even you got 8% a year, 8% a year interest, which is basically what the S&P 500 has done, sans dividends. Sans means without in French. Pablo, Spanish-speaking dog. Josh, French-speaking. You are in high-class territory, my friends. High class is my orange jumpsuit. All right, so let's say you have, for 40 years, that's 40 times 12. That's 480 months. So we'll use that as our N. We're going to say 8% interest. We're going to say zero present value. What do I say? $300 a month? Uh-oh, Pablo. That's going to give you $1 million in investments that you have by the time you're retiring. So you're going to have $1 million. All right, so you have $1 million. All right, so I can hear the freaking peanut gallery. Like, oh, if I have $1 million and I took 5% a year out, that would be $50,000 a year. And you're going to say, at 5%, that's $50,000 a year. And you're saying, man, and Social Security is only giving me $22.35. $22.35 is only going to be $22.35 times 12. That's only $26,000 a year. 26,000. What was that? 20. You know, just for simplicity, $26,000 a year. So it's basically less than half. What do you think's missing in the scenario, though? What's missing in the scenario? Well, what's missing in the scenario is this is actually not the amount you're going to get. This is the amount they're using for today's numbers. This is what drives you crazy. And you're not using, this right here is inflated and adjusted for 40 years of growth. This right here is just what they're saying based on today. Today, you're going to get $26,000 a month. But that does not include cost of living or AWI, the average wage index. So if we look at our let's see if I can't find my own article on AWI. Bear with me. This will be part of a soon coming book where I show you all the blog posts I've ever done for the last 2 years. And once we do, I'm going to publish it in book form. Anyway, I think that I want to do it just for my own record of all these articles I've written. I did a great article on joshscanlon.com. And oh man, and I lost it. That really made me on vaccines. As a matter of fact, it was a great article on vaccines, heavily researched. I mean, I loved it. And I went back to find it. It was gone. I was mad. Hey, buddy, no chewing there, big man. So we're gonna go to AWI, and we're gonna look at your average wage index. What that will do in terms of your in terms of what your Social Security benefit would have done as an index amount relative to this. This is 8%. We're going to say your AWI, your average wage index, is what Social Security would give to you. If I can get that on there. Oh, man, there we go. There you go. So AWI. Let's see what we got. Hold on just a second. It's going to be roughly 4 over going the last 40 years. Hold on a second here. The last 40 years was, I think, 4.5%, I think. AWI right here. All right, so your AWI since 1975, when they started it, was, hold on just a second, average 4.3% a year. So since 1975, when they started the average wage index relative to the cost of living adjustment, the AWI was 4.3, where the cost of living adjustment was only 3.6. So we're just going to split the difference, say 4%. All right, so this $22.35, again, remember that's my low amount, not including what I made last year. We're just going to use that for example. Oh boy, come here, buddy. Oh boy. Okay, spoily. All right, so $22.35. All right, so we got 19. I'm 49. We got basically 18 years left. $22.35 is our present value. You got 18. All right, we're going to go to 1, enter. There we go. So we got $22.35 present value, 0 payment. We're going to say I got 18 years before we hit our full retirement age of 67. And we're just going to use 4%. That'll be worth $45.25 a month. If we adjust that, $45.25 a month. If we adjust that with cost of living and average wage index. All right, so adjust that for average wage index. Well, you can't just compare this number for that. This number has not been inflated by any indexing, hasn't been inflated by AWI, hasn't been inflated by cost of living adjustments. It hasn't. This is just your number, your raw number today. Well, today is not what we were using here. Here we're saying, what would I get 40 years from now? I would get $50,000 a year, and here I'm only get $26,000. It's a whole different ballgame. In fact, if we take 4,500 times 12, that actually gives us $54,000 a year in income. All right. Now, again, I grant you, this is only $300 a month, and Social Security, you're paying a lot more than that. I grant you, I'm not trying to make it look like don't invest. I'm not saying that at all. But what happens is people underestimate how much Social Security will be because they think it's only going to be this. And they extrapolate this amount right there forward as if when they hit 67 years old, they're only going to get 2235. They're not only going to get 2235. They're going to get 4525 if we have an AWI continue, the average wage index, which is how they index Social Security earnings. They'll be that instead. They'll get 4525, not this. But then they do a comparison, which is just as apples to oranges, because they're saying, well, if I would have invested $300 a month, my $300 a month would have paid me more than whatever my employer and I did for Social Security. It's just wrong, man. I hope this makes sense. I know there's a lot going on there. I'd love to hear questions on this, comments. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But I'm telling you, man, do not discount how Social Security works. It's so important. It's so important. You got to understand it. So two things. One, first and foremost, your Social Security statement changes each year, basically on your previous last year income. It changes. You look it up. Look it up every year. Say what it is. And I would save it as a PDF file. Absolutely, I do. I just started doing that a few years ago when I learned about this. Number two, the amount you see on your statement is reflective today. It's not a future payout. It's reflected today what your benefit is today. But it doesn't include cost of living adjustments or average wage index increases. And if you don't include that and you're comparing it to something else like this, it's just it's completely idiotic comparison because the two things are completely different. Hope this helps. Put show notes and put questions down there if you have questions, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks now. Say bye-bye. Mwah. Bye-bye.